I'll have to figure that out later. All right. Well, oh, that's cool. I can see you on that other screen. Cool. All right. Let's practice. So, welcome aboard. Hopefully, one of these things that I'm trying to do with practice is ritual, something that we can rely on every single day, that we can go to as a tool to help us manage not only pandemic, but manage every single moment of our lives, because we're trying to actually kind of figure out how we kind of get through this life. And I had yesterday, my wife, if you guys don't know this, my wife is 9 months pregnant. Like, we're due any moment. So she's gonna be having a baby. If she sneezes too hard, maybe we'll have a baby right now. So she did a virtual meeting with her friends where we painted her belly. So I took this henna and painted all over her belly. And at the end of it, everybody was like so connected, and this ritual of, you know, this kind of like women's collective was so nice that it kept on reminding me of practice like this, where we can be together and we can move and just feel and have community to support us. So that's kind of the whole gist of, you know, why I'm actually doing this, is so that I can't have the opportunity for us to see each other and kind of interact, rather than my Facebook, which is just me kind of just barking out orders for the most part. So hopefully, and then this is where I'm gonna come back to you guys, is at the end of all this practice today, I'd like to let me know what you guys think. Is this something that it works for you? Is it better? Is it worse? Or is there things that I can do differently that actually is a little bit better for you guys? And then hopefully we'll make this stuff all together where we can really get what we need. All right, let's practice a little bit. So we are in for a 60-minute morning hatha, which is going to just really allow us to just awaken up to our bodies, our potential, our day, and maybe just create a foundation for the rest of the week. So we're going to come into child's pose. So bring your big toes together, knees fan out nice and wide, hips towards heels. You can use any bolsters, blocks, pillows, or whatever you need. And then you're just going to ease into this child's pose. So extend your arms nice and long, draw your forehead towards the floor. Soften the shoulders, soften the lower back, feel the length of the spine. And then micro adjusting in a way that supports the body. So a little bit of movement from side to side. You can even rock the head a little bit from side to side. And one of the most important things about our practice is this smooth inhalation and exhalation. I don't necessarily, especially in the morning, I don't need you to expand it. What I need you to do is just bring your awareness to it, how it comes in and out of the body effortlessly. And as you breathe, it's going to give you a sense of present moment, a sense of connection, and then as you allow that breath to be even a little bit more mindful, you gently bring yourself up into table. So come on up, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. You can always support your kneecaps with something soft, so give yourself a little bit of support. And you're just going to start by wagging the tail a little from side to side. So as you move the hips from side to side, you'll feel the sensation in right glute and left glute. And then you may even start to feel it in the right groin and left groin. And then you can even start to move the head and even the torso. So you can press the ribs out. So you start to feel it in maybe the lower back, side body. Relax your jaw. And then while you're moving from side to side here, you're just going to allow the belly to drop a little. And you're going to lift the chin, lift your chest. So it's a wagging cow pose. And then we're going to start to move as if we had like a paintbrush in our belly button, and we're going to make circles on the floor. So keep the belly dropped in cow pose, The tailbone is scooping up, and then you're going to make circles on the floor. So the hips draw back towards the heels and then forward. And you're just going to do this either like in small circles into big circles or just bigger circles. You have the option of doing like a spiral, so small, starting small and then bigger. And then once you're comfortable there, you're going to stop and you're going to go the other way. So you're just going to kind of keep that body fluid. And a lot of this stuff is really searching for subtle sensation, keeping the body really malleable, and starting to create a little inventory. All right, come back to center. Now we're going to go into cat pose. So tuck your chin and do this slowly. You're just going to tuck the tailbone. You're going to draw the belly up and towards the spine and tuck your chin. And then once you get into cat pose, let's go a little bit deeper by tuck the tailbone more. Press the tops of the feet down. That's going to engage the legs a little bit. And then draw your chin even closer toward your chest, like you're making a double chin. And then see if you can press the floor away from you. It's going to create a little bit of space between the shoulder blades. And then I just want you to move a little bit from side to side, kind of like wag the tail, move the torso in this cat pose. It's not as, I don't find it's as easy as cow. Cow is a little bit easier. This is a little bit more challenging here. One more deep full breath. This may create a little bit of heat because we're really engaging the belly. And then when you're ready there, you're just going to drop the belly, lift the chin, lift the chest back into cow. And now let's do a little bit of fluidity here. So exhale, round and squeeze, cat pose. Inhale very slowly, come into cow, belly drops, lift the heart, the chin and chest. Let's do that 2 more times. And you can follow your own breath. You don't have to follow me. Exhalation gives you into cat, inhalation into cow. And let's do it 1 more time. So just allow the body to move with the breath. All right. Come into neutral spine. You're going to walk your hands a little bit to the right. Lower your right elbow down. Spread your right fingertips nice and wide. Take your left hand. Reach it up and out to the right. So we've got a lot of details here. We're going to walk that left hand as far forward as we can. So you have that extension through that shoulder. And then you're just going to drop the left shoulder a little bit so you start to feel it in the left ribs. From here, draw your hips back so the left hand slides back just a little so you start to feel it in the left ribs. And then press your palm down. That'll activate that left arm and open up a little bit through that left shoulder. And now give yourself a couple deep, full breaths here. So the exhalation will allow the heart to kind of soften towards the floor. The inhalation will be the length through the left side body. And then on your inhalation, really slowly slide your left hand all the way back underneath the shoulders, come into table pose, a little wag from side to side, and then we're just going to take care of the other side. So walk your hands to the left. Left elbow drops down, spread your left fingertips nice and wide. Take your right hand up and out to the left. Walk it forward. And then press the palm down. Drop the right shoulder just a little. And then draw the hips back. Right hand slides back a little. And then you're going to stay right there. That kind of drawing the hips back is the extension through those the rib cage there. And then a moment to kind of soften into it. Right shoulder, right ribs, right side body, this whole kind of, maybe even down to the right tricep, maybe even the right arm. And then inhale, slide your right hand all the way back, lift yourself up into table. Walk your hands a little bit forward and then drop your hips forward and down, nice and slow. So it's kind of like a sloppy up dog. I want to make sure you don't hurt your lower back. So you can make any adjustments you need to. The arms are working pretty good. The belly button is kind of dropping towards the floor. The crown of the head is coming towards the tailbone. You can rock a little from side to side. And you can even gaze over right shoulder, left shoulder. One of the things I want you to bring your awareness to is a long neck. So a lot of us happen to do this, like we kind of squish in the neck. I want to push the floor away. Yeah, looks great. And then draw yourself back. Bring your knees together, point your toes, and then draw your hips all the way back towards your heels. So you're in hero's pose. And if any of this is uncomfortable for your ankles, you can slide something underneath there, or you can put something between your feet, like a block bolster, and that gives you a little bit of space behind the hip. So make sure you support that. Once you get here and you get comfortable, shake out your hands, wiggle your fingers, roll your wrists, and we're going to do a little bit with the neck. So we're just going to bring the right ear towards the right shoulder. And then we're going to lift the chin up and down. Roll your head back, lift your chin up, wag your jaw. And then left ear to left shoulder. Chin up and down. I find that we hold so much stress and tension in the neck. And I think for a lot of us, we don't pay attention to the neck till it hurts. And then we're like, oh man, I got to take care of the neck. I want to take care of the neck before it's a problem. Chin towards chest, hands to the base of the neck, a little massage. Doesn't have to be much, but it just gives you a little bit of circulation to the neck and the base of the neck. So you can go all the way up to the base of the skull. You can go in between the shoulder blades. And then once the neck is taken care of, we're just going to do a little bit more for the fronts of the shoulders. So I just want to interlace your fingers behind your back. Squeeze your shoulder blades and then slowly start to straighten the elbows. So the knuckles are coming towards the floor. They may touch, they may not. You can drift your arms off the lower back if you need more, but see if you can keep the spine long. So heart is lifting, shoulders down and away from the ears. If you still need more with your the neck to be a little bit more, have a little bit more attention, you can move the head around a little bit more. If you're needing more in the front of the arms, you can draw the arms off the lower back. The heart is still lifting. One more deep, full breath. Exhale, let it go. Shake them out. Hands forward, back into table. Separate the knees a little bit wider, a little wag. And then extend your right leg. I just want you to roll your right ankle, wiggle your toes, and flex your foot. And then think about internal, external rotation of your right thigh. So external rotation would be toes out to the right. Internal rotation is rotating the right hip down as toes come out to the left. And then I want you to do that a few times. So internal, external rotation, move both hips in their socket. And then when that's comfortable, malleable, then bend your right knee heel towards hip. Lift your knee, try to get your toes to touch the top of your head. Right? So then you're going to lift the chin, lift the chest. And then draw the right knee towards your belly, chest, give it a little squeeze, and then step your right foot forward between the hands. The hands are going to stay down. And from here, you can always use blocks or whatever support you would like. And I just want to get a little sensation in that left hip flexor. So as your hands are down, hips sink forward and down. So you get this length on the top of that left hip flexor, top of the left thigh. Scoot your right foot forward. And once again, support your left kneecap if there's anything that's uncomfortable. And then once you're comfortable here, I just want you to shift your hips right and left. These are like the details of that hip flexor. If it's enough, stay here. If you need more, hands come up to that right shin. And then you can kind of play with this by coming forward and down and back. You can vacillate towards that sensation. You can press the top of the left foot down to activate the left leg. And then once you find that spot, shake out the hands. We're going to do a little side bend. So right hand to right hip. Left arm reaches on up. Left arm slides over left ear until you feel enough in your left ribs. So see if you can keep the torso back a little, left arm back a little, and you may be able to feel it all the way down to your left knee in front of that left shin. And then take your left hand, bring it to your right knee. And then you're going to twist to the right. Oh, oh my gosh, a lot of cracks going on in my body right now. One more deep, full breath. Come back to center. Take your belly and chest and just rest it on your right thigh. Hands are going to come down. See if you can keep the belly chest onto the thigh, and then draw the hips back as the right knee gets a little straighter, straighter, straighter. So sensation is going to be right hamstring. I want you to keep your right foot on the floor to start. And I want you to press or soften the torso to the right thigh. So you can feel the connection of the hamstring to the glute, maybe lower back. Once you get there, square your hips towards the front of your mat. So right hip draws back, left hip draws forward. So it's kind of like a squaring of the hips. And then roll onto your right heel, flex your right foot until you feel something in your right calf. So I don't need your right knee to be straight. Soften, or once again, press torso towards the thigh. So you should feel it a little bit in the calf. If it's too much, soften the foot towards the floor. Maybe a little bit in the back of the knee, these tendons. Hamstring, connection of the hamstring to the glute, maybe lower back. And what you can do is you can play with it a little bit by trying to straighten the knee a little bit more, or bending the knee and softening the torso. So you can kind of vacillate between the sensation, right hamstring, left hamstring, or right hamstring, right calf, right glute. So find what you need. For me, a little bit of a bent knee, a little bit of a flex foot. My calves are always super tight, so I don't do much with the foot. And then the softening gives me a sense of that entire back of the right leg. It doesn't matter where you're feeling it, but make sure it feels like it's right. One more deep, full breath. And then inhale, come forward, plant your foot down. Take your left hand down right underneath your left shoulder. Take your right hand to your right knee or thigh. And then you're just going to draw, you're going to keep your right foot down. You're going to keep this thigh towards the belly, and you're going to twist. It's a supported dragonfly twist. So the left knee stays down, the right shoulder draws back, and then the right arm reaches up towards the ceiling. So it's a little bit of a twist. Now, we're going to now bend your right elbow, take the back of your hand towards your lower back, and it's just going to rest there. Draw your right shoulder, right elbow back. As you twist to the right, roll onto the outside of your right foot. So that right knee drops open. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Let's lift the chin a little, draw the right shoulder back a little. Allow that left hip bone to kind of sink towards the floor. Nice. Now take your right hand, slide it to your right thigh. Lift that on up. Now scoot your right foot all the way to the left. And then draw it back towards the left knee so your right shin is down. So pigeon on the right side. Rebecca, that's for you. Lengthen through torso, get nice and tall. If you need to, you can scoot your left foot back a little bit. And then lower your elbows down. Pigeon on the right side. So a little shift from side to side. Everybody's right knee is okay. If not, give me a wave and I'll give you an alternative posture. So make sure your right knee is not feeling anything. And I say that because every so often my right knee, it bothers me a little bit. And I'm so bullheaded and sometimes checked out that I'm like, I'll just kind of grit my teeth and get through it. And then like 2 hours later, I'm like, why is my right knee hurt? Right? So we don't want any sensation in either one of the knees, the ankles, or the bones. So like the side, sometimes the side of my right foot or the top of my left foot in this pose starts to feel a little like uncomfortable. So this is why I always wanted you to make sure that you have blankets, you have towels, you have things to support you in the pose. So give yourself a breath or two. You can make your micro adjustments to make sure that you feel what's right. I like stillness. So the difference between micro adjustments is that we're mindful of making the adjustment for the sensation. Fidgeting is like when you're adjusting your shirt and your hair and you're like playing with the remote control for the TV set, those things, that's fidgeting. I want to steer clear of fidgeting and see if we can create some stillness. And then if you need the sensation, you micro adjust. And we got 2 more breaths here. Big inhales, slow exhales. Moment to just be connected to body. All right, hands under shoulders, lift yourself on up. You're just gonna roll over your left toes. You're gonna lift your left knee. You're just gonna step your right foot back into down dog. So this may be our first down dog of the day. So spread your fingertips nice and wide. Wag your tail, shake your head. Big inhale, slow exhale. And as you're pedaling feet and knees, you're just gonna walk your feet to your hands. So you're just gonna kind of step them up. You're gonna separate your feet a little bit wider than your normal stance. Bend the knees enough where your hands can get down. And then once you're there, I just want you to sway from side to side. So try to straighten one knee and then the other knee. And that effort of trying to straighten, you'll feel the connection of the hamstring to the glute. And then get your shoulders soft, get your head soft. You can have hand find opposite elbow as you let them dangle a little bit more. And then on your inhalation, release your arms, hands find mid-thigh. You're gonna come up halfway or lift your chin and chest. Knees will start to straighten and then bring yourself all the way up, nice and slow. If you haven't eaten breakfast, you could get a little lightheaded, so take it nice and slow. Swivel your palms towards the front of the mat. Heel toe your feet a little bit closer towards one another. Give everything a little shake. So the legs, the feet, you can roll the ankles, roll the wrists. And then once again, check in with the head as you roll around a little bit. And then we're just gonna give ourselves a little bit of movement here. So toes to heels. And when we do this, we kind of feel this kind of groundedness. So, and sometimes our balance is a little funky in the morning. So just kind of bring your awareness to that. And then a little bend and straighten of the knees, hands come to heart center. And then inhale, just reach your arms up. Right hand's gonna grab left wrist. And then you're gonna side bend to the right. Swivel the chin underneath your left arm as you look underneath the left tricep. Pull a little bit more with that right hand like you're trying to get the left shoulder out of its socket. And then inhale, come back to center, reach your arms up. Let's try the other side. So left hand grabs the right wrist. Give yourself time here. So you're kind of finding a little bit of expansion through the body. This is a reminder that we're bigger than our bodies. Inhale back to center, arms reach up, lift the gaze. Exhale, hands come through heart center and fold forward. So the knees can have a little bit of a bend in them so you can kind of access the glutes as well as the hamstrings. Inhale, come halfway up, knees straighten, back flattens, lift the heart, lift the chin and chest. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your hands, walk all the way back, top of a push-up, and then very slowly lower all the way to the floor. Squeeze your legs together, point your toes. Press through your feet, hips, and hands, lift chin and chest, cobra pose. Exhale, lower down, a moment here, feel the weight of the body, soften. Inhale, come on up to table. Let's go back into child's pose. So big toes together, hips towards heels, and then soften. So check in here. How am I doing emotionally, physically, energetically? Am I taking care of myself in this practice, right here, right now? If I'm not, I just start again. So I start to make a little adjustments in a way that support my body. And then as we move through this next variation, I want to make sure that every movement and sensation supports you in your need. This is your body, is your emotions. It may be you have a busy day today, so that supports that. And then gently bring yourself up into table. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. We're gonna do the same thing. So we're just gonna shift the hips from side to side. You may be a little bit more open now, so you can kind of go deeper or farther if you need it. You may also be a little bit sore from doing, I don't know, gardening work from this weekend, or maybe riding your bike, so you may do a little less. And then you're gonna drop the belly, lift the heart, lift the chin and chest. Keep moving a little from side to side, so like a wagging cow pose. And then ease into cat pose. And then once again, you can move in any way that feels good. So you can stay in cat pose, or if you want to move through cat cow, you can do that. If you want to do those circles again, forward and back, you can do that. You can also do like a circular motion in and out of cat pose, kind of like you're in a big cylinder and your torso is cleaning the inside of the cylinder, so you can do that. Keep in mind that really there's no wrong way of moving unless it doesn't feel good. All right, so bring your knees together, spine is neutral, flip your toes under, and then draw your hips back. So now we're opening up through the tops of the feet. I find that this is a little bit more challenging than pointed toes. So you're on the heels. You can move your pinky toes out from under. If it's too much, come forward and bring the hips off the heels. If it feels pretty good and you need more, you can scoot your knees forward. That'll kind of get to the tops of the feet. And then shake out the hands, roll your wrists. And then if you're comfortable here, you can interlace the fingers behind your back. But if you're here, you may just want to stay there for a moment. And at any point in time, you can always lift your feet off the ground and kind of support them. So wherever it's working, do that. So you can interlace fingers, you can move the head, or you can keep the hands down and move the head. And give yourself a couple deep full breaths here. I broke my right foot a couple years ago on a motorcycle wreck. And it took me a good full year before I could do this. Like it was so much of a challenge. All right, come forward. Hands down, feet up off the ground, roll your ankles, wiggle your toes, and then sway the feet from side to side. You can like wag the tail, move the head. And then we're going to lower the feet, extend your left leg, and then we're going to do those rotations again. So I want to rotate the left thigh out to the left so the toes roll out to the left. And then we're going to internally rotate it as we drop the left hip bone. So we're going to kind of do this a few times and over exaggerate the movement so you can kind of really get into those hips. And this is just warm up for us to take care of the hips, like these kind of variations that we're going to do. Once you're good here, bend your left knee so the heel comes towards the hip. Lift the knee, left toes try to come to the top of the head, so you're going to press the floor away. All right, one more deep full breath. And then draw the left knee towards belly, chest, and then step your left foot forward. Let's keep our hands down to start with. Right hip sinks forward and down. If your left knee passes your ankle, kind of like this, I want you to scoot your left foot forward so that left ankle's in front of the knee. Now, my right kneecap's always sensitive, so I need to support it a little softer. And then, once again, this may be plenty. You can stay here, and then you can add these twists in as you like. But if you're needing a little bit more, you can come on up. And when we come on up, that right hip flexor really shows up. So you may have to readjust again. So hips are square. You can move this around a little bit from side to side. Left ankle's in front of the left knee, and you're just kind of finding the sensation as you move forward and back. Take the hands, give them a little shake. And I do this because sometimes we get fatigued in the wrists from all the hands down. Left hand to left hip. Right arm reaches up. Ease into this pose, so right arm slides over the right ear. As your hips sink forward, you'll start to get a sensation all the way down the right quadricep down to the right knee. That left hand is supporting you as you push the right hip out to the right and maybe a little forward. And then take your right hand to your left knee, twist to the left, and gaze underneath your left shoulder down toward your right foot. You may see it, you may not. Press the top of your right foot into the ground to activate the right leg. So it's a subtle adjustment, but can be very powerful. And then inhale, come back to center. Take your belly and chest and rest it on your right thigh as your hands come down. Draw the hips back as the left knee gets a little straighter. And I say a little straighter because I want you to ease into it. It'll get straighter, straighter, and straighter until that left hamstring kind of shows up. Then square your hips towards the front of the room. So left hip draws back, right hip draws forward. Soften again, torso towards thigh. If the calf is really soft and you want attention to it, just draw that left heel or the left toes back towards the top of your left knee. So there's a little bit of flexing in the foot. And once again, you can kind of regulate that to the amount of sensation you need in the calf. And then from here, you can press or soften the torso towards the thigh. If you try to straighten the knee more, sensation will run down the leg. If you bend it more and press the torso so you get closer, you'll get a little bit more into the glute and lower back. I personally kind of vacillate towards each sensation and let my body decide what it needs. And then just a few deep, full breaths. And once again, you can continue to vacillate or you can find stillness in one pose. One more deep, full breath. All right. Hips sink forward, left foot roots down. So once again, we're getting full extension of this back leg. The right hand comes underneath the right shoulder. The left ankle is still in front of the left knee. You can even scoot your foot out to the left a little. This opens up the gate of the hips. And then from here, left hand to left thigh. We're not rolling the knee out just yet. So it's going to stay still right underneath the ankle. And then we're going to twist and open, left arm reaches up. So we're trying to stack shoulders and we're trying to keep that thigh towards the belly. That's a little bit of work in the leg. And then we can bend the left elbow so the back of the hand finds the lower back. You're going to draw your left shoulder, left elbow back, and now you're really slowly going to roll on the outside of that left foot as that left knee draws open. This is all really can be quite intense for this left IT band, left hip, left groin. All this stuff is hips. We're still feeling in the right hip flexor. The hips are dropping towards the floor. The heart is lifting for length of spine. You can get as active as you like in this left hand. So we can press and peel open if you need it. One more deep, full breath. I sometimes can even massage kind of this connection of the IT band to the hip. It's really quite intense. All right, left hand comes to the left thigh, lift the thigh on up, and now scoot your left foot all the way towards your right hand, and then back towards your right knee. So you can take your right hand and draw the foot back. So your left shin has a pretty big angle in it, and then you only scoot it forward if you're not feeling enough in your left hip. And then lower your elbows down, maybe a little shift from side to side. And then once again, really careful on your knees. So nothing in either one of them. So, and I say either one of them because the hips are so tight that, or the hips are so strong that if they're very tight, it will pull on the joint, and that's knee, that's ankle. And that's the left one. The problem that I used to always have was my back knee, because there's my right at this pose, my right hip flexor is so tight that my knee presses into the ground. So I would need to slide something soft underneath the right kneecap. So keep in mind that you have all these options that are available. There is no point ever in our yoga practice that I would say, I want you to feel that in your joint, right? Or in the bones. That should never happen. And it does show up that way when we are a little bit tight in the muscles and connective tissue. So soften here. We've been doing a lot with the hips, right? Hip flexor, IT band, groins. And so we're just kind of really giving us a sense of mobility today. And this does also address emotional body, which a lot of us seem to be struggling right now with this weird kind of disconnection that we have. So a moment or two to breathe. The reason why we stay here in stillness is because we want to get beyond the muscle and get to the connective tissue. And then once we get to connective tissue, that's where the lasting sensations kind of take place. It's also an opportunity for us to learn how to manage sensation that's uncomfortable, which we probably will be in the next week or so, if we're not already. So it's just a little bit of a practice of how I manage sensation that's uncomfortable. Last breath, soften. Hands under shoulders, lift yourself on up. We're going to get into that down dog, so roll over your right toes, lift your right knee, and then just slide that left leg back. And then once again, I don't necessarily need a super pretty down dog, so you just kind of move in a way that feels good. So pedal, feet, knees, wag your tail, shake your head. Big inhales, slow exhales. And then stay here, separate your feet as wide as your mat. Now walk your hands back. So you're in a forward fold again, but you're kind of at the back of the mat. Tucking the chin, softening the shoulders, a little bit of movement from side to side. Bend your knees enough to get your left palm down right below your nose. Now you could use a block, you could use a bolster, you could use a pillow. Bend your left knee a little bit more, and then you're going to twist and open, right arm reaches up. Now try to straighten that right knee as you lift your right hip the best you can. If you can straighten that, you can do the same thing with the left knee, a little bit more challenging. Roll your right wrist, wiggle your fingers, pulse your hand. And then right hand comes all the way down. Sway the hips, sway the torso. Now let's just try the other side. So bend the knees enough to get your right palm down right below the nose. Bend your right knee more. That's going to help with the twist. And then lift that left arm up to the sky. And roll that left wrist, wiggle the fingers, and pulse the hand. Lift your left hip as the left knee gets straighter, straighter, straighter. You'll feel it in that hamstring. And then exhale, left hand comes down, tuck the chin, sway the hips. Walk your hands forward all the way to the front of your mat. Come into plank, so bring your feet a little bit closer together. You can do the same thing we did last time as floor cobra, but you could lower halfway down for up dog if that feels better for you. So elbows are straight, thighs are off the ground. So you're an up dog or cobra, whatever's working for you. And then ease yourself into table pose. Once you're there, cross your ankles, roll over your feet, come into your seat. Soles of the feet come together, cobbler's pose. So we're doing more hips. Why not? They need so much attention. So soles of the feet come together, heels towards hips, lengthen through the torso, a little bit of movement from side to side. Everybody's doing all right? Thumbs up. Cool, all right. I like that. You guys don't know how much that means to me to actually see you do something. All right, belly button towards heels, hinge forward. Knees are heavy. They could be invited down by the elbows, but I want you to be really careful that you don't overstretch the groins. Keep in mind that our yoga practice is not about becoming flexible. It's like, it's just like awareness. When we are patient and soft and surrender, we become flexible, but that's not the end goal, right? It's just like, how am I doing? What do I need? Inhale, come on up, scoot your feet a little bit in front of you. So they're make like a square. This is gonna move the sensation from the groins to maybe the creases of the hips. So come forward again. You can even rock a little from side to side. Sometimes I find that the tendons that run around the hip bones kind of get in the way, but when you move a little bit, you may have a little bit of variation. Now that the feet are a little bit farther away from you, you can tuck the chin and round a little bit more the back. So think about elbows in front of the shins as they drop down. Not that you have to get there, but that's kind of the direction. So a little bit of lengthened spine, and then tuck in the chin as you let gravity do a little bit more of the work. Once again, you can press, pull, or soften, right? I personally, when I get in these like these cobbler's poses, I just want to hang. And even a little micro adjustment from side to side is nice as well, just to find out your edges. One more deep full breath. And then inhale, gently come on up. Hands on the outsides of the knees, lift them up, bring your feet to the floor. And then you're just gonna lower your elbows down behind you. So you have your knees bent and your elbows are down, and then find your way to your back. So keep the knees bent, feet to the floor. Just move your knees a little right to left, like a windshield wiper with the knees. You're just gonna like soften the lower back. And we're gonna ease into a bridge pose. So once the lower back feels malleable, think about rounding up. So you're gonna push your feet down. You're gonna take the curvature of your back to the floor. So it engages the belly. So like you're pressing the floor down. And then lift the tailbone to keep pressing the spine down. And then slowly lift on up until you feel like it's enough. So you can lift your hips as high as you like. Maybe it just comes up a little bit. If it's all the way up, maybe you can rock and squeeze your shoulder blades together. Now your palms can be up, or you can interlace your fingers behind your hips. Draw your chin towards your chest. In this pose, I want you to steer clear of trying to look at the screen, and draw the chin straight down like you're trying to look for your belly button. As you squeeze your shoulder blades together, just lift the hips up as much as you need to. Now, if you need more space, you can always come onto your tippy toes as you lengthen a little bit more. The feet can be as far apart or as close together as comfortable. If you're not sure, you can kind of play with the feet. You should kind of move them closer and farther apart and find what supports you. One more deep full breath as you find the length of spine, the openness of the heart, the openness of the belly. You can lower the heels, release the hands, and slowly lower the hips down. And once the hips find the floor, once again, move your knees from side to side. I want to make sure that we don't squeeze the thighs towards the belly really quickly. Once the lower back feels nice and malleable, then you can draw the knees towards the belly with a little squeeze. If you're needing a little bit more, slide your hands in between the legs. You can grab the bottoms of the feet, ankles, or shins. This is happy baby, so ankles come up over the knees. Separate the feet as wide as you can, and then knees drift down by the rib cage. And then just move a little bit here. So once again, a little bit more through hips. One more round of breaths here. When you are ready, if happy baby, I love happy baby. I could stay here for, I don't know, hours. If you want to stay, stay. Your next option would be candlestick. So feet up towards the ceiling. This is just to give you a little bit of energy so the blood flows down into the vital organs and into the heart. In your candlestick, you can do a couple things. The hands could be on the hamstrings to support yourself here. The palms can be down as you kind of scoot your hands underneath your hips, kind of like a supported candlestick. You can keep the legs up, just staying there, or you can move them around. So you can go wider, you can kind of scissor kick front and back, you can roll the ankles, wiggle the toes. All I want you to do is to make sure your legs are above your heart. So it could be movement or stillness. So find whatever's working for you. You got 2 breaths. You can even take the hands to the hamstrings and give yourself a massage. If you're not digging this, right, you can go back into happy baby. And then when you're ready, it's time for Shavasana. So heels find the corners of your mat. Last resting pose. Externally rotate the thighs so it releases and softens the lower back. You can use a pillow or a blanket or any variation that supports the body. So give yourself a moment to settle in. The palms can swivel up by side body, or you can take left hand to heart, right hand to belly. Draw the chin a little bit down towards the chest so you're long through the back of the neck. And as you close your eyes, drop your gaze inward. Somewhere in the body, could be in the heart, could be in the belly, could be in the middle of the brain, where you can kind of rest, almost make like a refuge there, where you're safe and you're supported and you're feel strong. And as you rest in this location, allow the body to relax. It's the toes, it's the ankles, it's the thighs, lower back, belly, chest. Big inhales, slow exhales as you surrender. And through these next few minutes, allow everything to just melt. Thoughts, tensions, expectations. You are free in body and mind. Mm. And very slowly start to deepen your breath. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes, rocking your head gently from side to side, rolling wrists and ankles. And then gently extend your arms up over your head. Stretch from your fingers all the way down to your toes. Get really nice and long. On your exhalation, just relax. Feel the weight of your body. A moment to check in. Acknowledge your practice, the space that you are in, and the opportunity we all have to experience this day mindfully and being present. And then gently draw the knees towards the belly or the chest. Wrap your arms around your legs. Give yourself a little squeeze as you rock a little from side to side. Right arm reaches up over your head. Gently roll to your right side. And a moment to be here now. Monday, an opportunity to start a new week with a new, fresh body and mind. What would a successful day look like to you? Maybe some self-care, a little rest, some connection. Maybe a walk in nature. And then softly pressing the hands into the floor, gently bring yourself up into a comfortable seat. Make sure that you're comfortable in your seat. I just want to do a quick little meditation. So if you need to slide something underneath the hips to make sure the knees and the ankles are taken care of, do that. Hands can be either on the knees, thighs. You can flip your palms up with any mudra you would like as well, or you can bring the hands to the lap. Lengthen through the torso, so get really nice and tall. Keep the spine tall and then soften as much as you can. Draw the chin down, close your eyes, relax your jaw. Drop the gaze inward again, maybe to that space that you created, heart, belly, or in the middle of the head. Narrow your focus towards the subtle movement of the chest cavity on the inhalation and exhalation. Bring your awareness to those details. How long is the inhalation? How long is the exhalation? Are you pausing at the top and the bottom of the inhalation and exhalation, or do you move right into the next breath? Does the air feel cool, warm, moist, dry? How does your body respond to the inhalation and exhalation? In this moment, you are whole, you are connected, you are perfect. And then gently draw your chin towards your chest, soften the shoulders. Bring the hands together, thumbs towards the heart, and then start to flutter your eyes open as you gaze over the fingertips. Take a nice big inhale through your nose, exhale out your mouth. Thank you guys so very much for sharing your presence, your practice, your power. Have a beautiful day. Namaste. Nice work, yogis. Hey, Doug, good to see you.
Good to be seen. I couldn't get the camera to work.
It works now.
I know. I'm back.
Awesome. How is everything, you guys? Sound okay? Look okay?
It's great.
Cool. Let me know what you guys think as we move through. I want to know how the communication is to sign up for class is doing. Like I'll send out, like I sent out the invite Zoom information of this on Sunday night. I'll do the same thing for tomorrow's class. I'll send the 5 o'clock invite probably like around noon tomorrow, and then my noon class on Wednesday I'll probably send it out like around 9, so a couple hours before class, so I get everybody a chance to sign up that they want to sign up. Would you guys like this venue? This process is all right? And oh, sorry, all you ladies are all muted. I can unmute you if you want to chat. So there you go.
Compared to Facebook.
I'm sorry?
It looks great compared to Facebook.
Does it? Does the video look better? I seem like
my
there's a
God.
struggle with the video on Facebook.
It looks great.
Ah, cool.
I feel like I'm with you.
Oh man, that sounds so good.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do. I want to make sure.
This is nicer for me.
Yeah, that's cool. You know what? I like it because we get to do this rather than type, thumbs up. Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's great. I love it. I mean, it's an opportunity, but this gives me a chance to actually see you guys, see like a little bit of the practice, hear from you, and it works really well for me. And this is what I enjoy doing, is like, I get to see you guys do your practice and see that you guys are following me. Like, oh yeah, I got you. Because I don't know if I'm going too fast, too slow. And the pacing for me is really important too. So
I like it. I think it's great.
Awesome. Well, nice work, you guys. So good to see you.
Good to see you, Carter. Thanks for doing this.
You're welcome. Have a great day. I'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye, you guys.
Good luck with the baby.
Yeah.
I'm going to try. Well, I'll keep you guys updated. We'll see.
Wait, can you stay on? I have a baby stuff question.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, bye, everybody.
Yeah.
I have this so my almost 5-year-old is finally potty trained.
Yeah.
So I have this really excellent diaper changing pad, but it's really great because you just wipe it instead of buying those gross covers and washing them.
Yeah.
And he's finally done with it, and I could